Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Amateur Commentator. This is the fourth match for the IPL 2022. And of all the four matches, all the captains have won the toss, elected to field, and have won the match. I'm not sure whether that's a trend which is going to continue, but that's something which is going to take a lot of captain to not think about much about the toss, just win the toss and elect the field. These are the two new teams for this season, and we were hoping a lot from both the new teams in terms of how they are going to set up their trend for their fan base, for their sponsors, and all those aspects. I'm not sure whether all the promises have been fulfilled. We saw a lot of star Indian players to be acquired by both the teams during the auctions and the pre-auction session. It's still early days, but they need to prove their worth going ahead. Hi, Somit. Welcome to this new episode.
Hi, Anshul. Exciting game, but sometimes exciting does not mean that there was quality in it. I felt that there were too many mistakes made by both the team and some excellent bowling quality shown by someone like Mohammad Shami. But all in all, good, exciting game, but lots of mistakes.
Yeah. Tell us a bit more about in terms of what do you think of the match, how it happened and how it should have happened according to you.
So Gujarat Titans won the toss and they decided to put Lucknow in. Lucknow had a horrid start. Mohammad Sami picking up KL Rahul and then Quinton de Kock and then Manish Pandey, and it was a dream first spell for Shami. Gujarat somewhere should have given him another over. Hardik Pandya should have given him another over and have a crack at Deepak Hooda and Ayush Badoni, the new kid from Delhi. But it was not to be, and Badoni and Hooda put in a good partnership, almost a century partnership between both of them, both scoring half centuries. And at the end, Krunal Pandya came in, hit some good blows, scored 20 odd from 13, and Lucknow posted a quite decent 158 run on the board. That's almost 8 runs per over, which Gujarat needed to get. Gujarat were off to a bad start again, just like Lucknow, with Shubman Gill going out for a duck. Dushmanta Chameera had a brilliant start. He got Vijay Shankar after that. And then Hardik Pandya came in and got the 10 best deliveries that he would have ever got to start an innings. Most of them were on leg side. He was 20 of 10 balls by the end of that sequence of events, and Gujarat were back on track. Then they slowed down. Matthew Wade was not hitting it properly. Rahul Tewatia and David Miller also struggled against the spinners. But somewhere in the 16th overs, things changed. Gujarat started hitting, and at the end Rahul Tewatia and the young man Avinav Manohar made sure that Gujarat went on to win the game. So at the end it was good performance by Gujarat's bowler. Lucknow's lower middle order and their bowlers kept them in the hunt, but at the end it was Rahul Tewatia again hitting the winning run and making it a habit for himself to be part of thrillers.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you make of the total? I think 158 was still a par total. Even Lucknow were able to make the match out of it. It's just that few bad decisions on field in terms of bowling changes and the kind of bowls which the spinners were bowling towards the fag end of the innings for Gujarat. It was a consistency part which was lacking, but I still felt 158 was quite dependable. What's your opinion?
It was a below par total. No doubt about that. They could have scored more, considering the fact that this is a day-nighter and we are seeing that teams batting second are having an advantage. So it was not even a par score. So it was, I guess, 10 odd runs, at least 10 to 15 runs short of a par score. And if you factor in due into effect, I think they should have scored somewhere around 180 to be competitive, and it was not to be. And we saw that despite having a sequence of 5 overs where Lucknow only considered 19 runs while bowling, Gujarat still managed to do it in the final over. So, yeah, I think it was a below par score. But the fact that they were 4 down at such a low score, and then for 2 Indian domestic players to come and rescue them, take the score to 158 was a commendable job. And it didn't look like it didn't look like Krunal Pandya and Deepak Hooda had any issues playing for the same team. They looked quite comfortable with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the innings, for what it was after Sami's spell, yes, it was a good score. But from objectively, it was not that great a score.
Let's come, discuss team by team few points. Let's talk about Lucknow first. Yes, they were batting first. They lost the toss, but somehow feel this Mumbai wicket, especially at Wankhede, it's doing quite a bit in the initial part of the innings, especially the first 3-4 overs. Yes, Rahul got probably the best ball of the match, and it was very unplayable. The first delivery itself, but somehow I felt, the deliveries which Quinton de Kock and Manish Pandey received, they could have done better job with their footwork. And it was those deliveries. Yes, they were very good deliveries and on target, but they did not do a very good job. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I think batsmen do make mistakes, but it's about margins. It's about small margins, and in both the balls, it was just a small mistake by the batsman, and they paid the price for it. It was, we have to give it to Shami. Those were good balls, good deliveries.
Yeah,
The one that got Manish Pandey out, it hit just the top of the hop, and that's absolute precision from Shami. So I think credit should go to Gujarat's bowling at that point. Even surprisingly, Barun Aron started well in that spell.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I think as much as I would like to say that there were mistakes which they could have played it better in some sense, but I think it was purely down to skill of the bowler that got them those wickets.
Was quite impressed by, in terms of how Deepak Hooda and Ayush Badoni were able to, uh, you know, play out the innings. They lost 4 wickets initially during the power play, and they were patient enough to, play along the innings and then accelerate at the end. I was actually quite impressed in terms of how they handle Rashid Khan. Yes, Hooda got out to him, but I think this was probably one of the better way how to handle Rashid Khan. Yes, he bowls googlies, he bowls leg spinner, but most of the times both of the batsmen were able to pick out from his hand or from the wicket, either ways.
Yeah, in fact, that is why I was quite disappointed when Huda tried to sweep him and he got out, because he could have played him out. It was just a matter of couple of balls, and they were playing pretty well till that time, and that would have provided them the perfect launch pad to get into the 160s and 170s. And somewhere I felt that he missed that opportunity. Saying that, well, extremely impressed by Ayush Badoni. Not I must confess that I've not heard a lot about him. Haven't seen him play for Delhi much. I do follow domestic cricket quite a lot, but Ayush Badoni is one of those names that had not registered till now. And I actually went back and saw his record and found out that he has not actually played a lot for Delhi. He's played
Yeah,
5 games in which he has batted only once. So this was a surprise. I think this also goes to show a larger point about IPL, and this is about the scouting system. We have known for a long time that scouting systems, especially in teams like Mumbai, have been pretty decent, pretty good. It is Mumbai Indian scouting system that unearthed the likes of Hardik Pandya. Even someone like Kuldeep Yadav was first spotted by them, and we have the case of Jasprit Bumrah and others as well.
absolutely.
So this time around, seeing someone like Ayush Badoni come up, and even for that matter, when we talk about Lucknow, when we talk about Gujarat, Abhinav Manohar, who came in and hit those brilliant boundaries at the last few overs to take the win home for Gujarat. These are players who have been scouted well, and we have to give credit where it is due. And IPL has done a lot for Indian cricketers, especially those in the back lanes of middle India or down south, who just otherwise would not have got chances. I think it's great to see that.
Absolutely, the scouting system, especially when you talk about someone like Jasprit Bumrah or likes of Ishan Kishan, they have developed quite well through the IPL ranks. But one thing I'm concerned, because for say someone like Shubman Gill and Ayush Badoni for that matter, if they are in the right setup within the IPL scenario for them to be profitable and being able to develop into better cricketers, because when we're talking about as the team, they are not surrounded by too many experienced and world class players, which probably the likes of Chennai or Bangalore or Mumbai have the luxury of doing that.
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's time that Shubman Gill takes some more responsibility. He has been there with the Indian team for quite a few years, now. He has been a part of the system for the last 5 to 7 years, 5 years at least. He was a part of the 2018 under 19, and before that also he has been in and around the under 19 side. So yeah, I think I must say that I've been disappointed with Gill over the last couple of seasons in IPL. He did well for Kolkata. He did play a few good innings, but it's not like the Gill, the potential we saw from him during those under 19 days, and even when he made his debut for India in Australia. So a bit disappointed with that. As far as Ayush Badoni is concerned, I think he has still got a long way to go before he grows into a good, consistent player. At least physically, he has got all the.
Yeah.
He's a raw package. He has got the shots and everything, but I think it'll take him at least a couple of years to develop, and I think he's in a good setup. It's not that there's any issue with that. You have someone like Gowtham Gambhir, who is his school senior, I guess. Both of them come from the same school in Delhi. Here you have someone like Andy Flower, who is one of the better coaches going around in the world, and I think he will get good opportunities to grow within that side. So yeah, let's hope that in next couple of seasons we see these kind of players like Ayush Badoni being the mainstay of IPL. We were quite impressed with Tilak Verma yesterday with Mumbai. So I think this is a good side for IPL. And I had my concern. We had our concern when we were talking about the squad, that since this is a 10-team IPL, the quality may go down. And surprisingly, it looks like more players are getting opportunities, and the quality has not gone down in some sense.
Absolutely. So let's talk a bit about Lucknow's bowling before we go to Gujarat. I know we already spoke about Shubman Gill, but let's talk about someone like Dushman Chameera. And what do you make about the overall bowling lineup of Lucknow?
Yeah, I was quite impressed with Chameera. We have seen him play for Sri Lanka as well, and he has done well in limited over cricket. If Mark would have been there, then I'm not sure whether Chameera would have been their first choice. But if they would have picked both Wood and Chameera, then Wood, Chameera, and Avesh should have been a great combo of fast bowlers, all bowling over 140 kilometers per hour, and that would have been a good attack. But sadly, Wood is not here to play the IPL. Despite that, I think Lucknow's bowling, their batting is their strongest suit. The bowling is not bad, but the batting is their strongest suit. They have got good bowlers with great potential. Avesh and Ravi Bishnoi have got a lot of potential. I was quite impressed with the way Krunal bowled, because his bowling seemed to have gone down a bit over the past few years. It's more like he comes more like someone who would try to stop the runs, bowl flatter and all. But I think he bowled well today. He picked up his brother's wicket, and that was there. He won that battle there. So yeah, the bowling is not bad. It's a good bowling. It's a young attack. It's not as good as some in the other experienced teams have. But we saw that Bangalore's bowling, which looks quite decent on paper, could not defend 206. So yeah, let's see what happens with Lucknow.
Yeah, it's more also of attribute in terms of which wicket you're playing, but more than in terms of being able to defend 158 or 200. I felt after the over of Deepak Hooda, yes, more than 20 runs were scored off his over. I'm not sure if bringing back Bishnoi was a good option, because he already had 2 overs remaining of Avesh Khan and 2 overs from Chameera. And at the end, Chameera was not able to finish his quota of 4 overs.
Yeah,
from that point of view.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about that. We have spoken a lot about KL Rahul and his captaincy. Did you see anything different today, or do you feel that our stance on his captaincy actually remains, and it's time that people should also take notice? I think a lot of people are, but yeah.
See, one thing I was able to observe is he's trying to change few things in terms of how he does the captaincy job. Most of the times, previously, whether he was captaining India or he was a part of the Punjab team, he had a set template in terms of how things needed to be done. But today, when Miller and Tewatia, when they were batting and they were not able to score runs, he brought in the spinners and he continued with the spinners. But my problem here only is when Deepak Hooda, who gave away more than 20 runs, and you already have seen both Tewatia and Miller were able to strike him well. I'm not sure whether bringing in Bishnoi was a good idea, because see, if you would not have had someone like Chameera or Avesh Khan, uh, 2 overs from each, and maybe if Moshin Khan was there, who has not had a lot of experience in IPL, I might have understood the decision. But you had 4 overs of quality pace bowling still to come. That was a bit of again, it's something which is easier for us to talk in the hindsight. If it would have worked and probably Ravi Bishnoi would have taken both the wickets, it would have been entirely a different thing. But yeah, considering the available options for KL Rahul at that point, I might have gone the other way around.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask whether you feel like it was a miscalculation on Rahul's part that he didn't see Chameera and Avesh both had 2 overs remaining, and he gave one extra over to Deepak or to Bishnoi as well. Or do you just feel that they were playing the percentages game? Hooda is an off spinner. You had 2 left-handers out there. Bishnoi is a leg spinner, but he bowls well to the left-handers with mostly googlies.
Yeah.
So do you think it was a choice that they made and they have paid for it, or do you really think that it was some kind of miscalculation? Because I somewhere feel that either way it's bad. If it was a choice, it was a bad choice and bad way to go, especially when you have seen your premier bowler, Chameera being your premier bowler. And if it was miscalculation, then there is nothing much to say. So I just wanted to know your view, whether you feel it was a miscalculation or whether they felt.
I don't think so. It was a miscalculation. It's just the choice which they made. Because again, the choice was based on how Tewatia and Miller were not able to score that many runs of the spin bowlers before the strategic timeout. So I believe that was why they went ahead with that. Now, one thing which did not help them is today we were not playing on a center wicket. This was one side of the boundary was considerably rushed, and when Hooda was bowling, although he's an off spinner, he was not spinning that much. He had a bigger leg side boundary, but when Bishnoi came to bowl, most of the balls he bowls is googly, and he was facing a shorter boundary on the offside for both the left-hand batsmen. And since Tewatia hit him 6 with a reverse hip in the first ball itself, most of the deliveries which he was bowling after that were outside the leg stump, and he was getting punished because of that. So yes, it was a choice, I would say, but the bowlers were not able to implement that well the plans which probably captain had for them.
Yeah, I think either way, I felt that it was not the right choice to make, or at least they should have given either of Chameera or Avesh an over in the middle. Not using your premier bowlers is especially when they are bowling well is not a sign of good captaincy. I know that a lot of people will say that we are saying all this in the hindsight, but then this is that there's something basic to captaincy, and one of them is using your premier bowlers if they are bowling well. And today,
Absolutely.
both of them were bowling quite decently and not to use their full quota. I think that's pretty poor captaincy, because at the end of the day, 2 balls of Avesh were also left because they got it in the 4th ball of that over, and you had 1 over from Chameera. So that's like 8 balls which their premier bowlers didn't bowl. So that's bad captaincy, I would say, in that sense.
Let's come to Gujarat. Let's talk about their batting for a bit. In terms of, yes, we spoke about Shubman Gill. We have expected a lot out of him, and he has not been able to perform, at least from the last season point of view. But what about their other batting lineup? Are you happy? Hardik coming at number 4 and the batting lineup which we have currently for them?
We have spoken about it. We have said that Gujarat's bowling is their stronger suit. It's their batting which is their weaker suit, which is quite the opposite of Lucknow. Lucknow's stronger suit is their batting, but today it didn't work. Well, from what I have seen, what I saw today and what I have seen previously as well, I would say that Gujarat will be much better placed if they actually had someone like Saha play up front rather than Matthew Wade, because I don't see Matthew Wade bringing in a lot of value. Not at the top of the order. Maybe at number 6, if you have chasing down, if you are chasing down a score and have someone like Matthew Wade, it's okay. Otherwise, I don't see much value of him batting at the top of the order. He hit some good shots, but he has always done that. He looks good playing those offside shots, but he lacks a lot of timing. He has been lacking timing since I don't know when. I mean, I have not seen a fluent innings from him, except for a brief period in the World Cup where he took Australia to the championship
Yeah.
at the end. But I am not impressed with him. I think they should get Saha in and try to get another foreigner in Aaron's place, rather. I would say maybe Aljari Joseph. They do have Aljari Joseph, so having Joseph and Shami in the attack would be much better. Yeah,
Yeah, I completely agree. It's not because Wade is not a good player. It's more because the balance currently which they have, especially when Varun Aram is bowling as the opening bowler, that is something which I'm not comfortable. It might be because he's playing after a very long time, but replacing, as you said, someone like Alzari Joseph with Wade and bringing in, Saha to open the innings would be a much better option for them.
yeah,
And maybe batting someone like Abhinav Manohar at number 3, and then your batting order automatically shifts one down. So that will provide a much better depth in terms of their middle order, because yes, Hardik Pandya came and he scored those runs, but at that moment of time, if Gujarat would have lost Hardik Pandya, it would have been very difficult for them to recover from that particular loss.
yeah. I think that is true, and I also think that you have someone like Lockie Ferguson and Rashid Khan, and Lockie Ferguson is a great middle over enforcer kind of person. You have Rashid. So if Rashid and Lockie are bowling in the middle overs, and you have someone like Shami at the top of the top of the innings with Aljari Joseph, who can also bowl at 140 plus, that actually further strengthens your bowling attack, and it
Absolutely.
would be difficult for teams to score at the top with Shami picking up wickets, and in the middle overs with someone like Rashid uh, squeezing the runs, and Lockie Ferguson also doing the same. So I think they should rather have that. I don't see much difference between Saha and Wade, although a lot of people would not be happy that I'm saying that there are people who rate Wade much higher, and there are a lot of Australian fans as well. I don't think that they should be picking up Wade. Not that David Miller is any better. I mean, we have seen him in the IPL for quite some time now, and apart from a couple of seasons with Rajasthan, I have not seen him perform that well. He didn't do a lot with Punjab. It's just that he brings in the IPL experience with him, and I think that's why a lot of teams prefer him. But I think there are other players out there who were not picked during the auction who are much better. So in that sense, from Gujarat's side, I would say I would rather pick another bowler, another foreign
Absolutely.
bowler, and bring in Saha. And as far as the Abhinav Manohar question is concerned, I've heard that he's a good player of spin. I'm not sure whether how good he will be at number 3, but yes, he should be playing more number of balls. He looked like a good hitter, and with someone like Tewatia at number 6 or number 7, the match is never over. The first time he did it, it looked like a fluke, but he has been consistently doing it.
Yeah.
So I think he has got the talent for that lower order hitting, and yeah, that's for Gujarat, I would say.
Sure. Thanks, Amit. Anything, according to you, both of the teams, apart from what we discussed, need to change strategically going into the next match?
I just hope that Lucknow's top order has better luck next time, because it was they faced a great spell from Shami, and there was nothing that they could have done much. And so that despite that, they actually did well to reach where they reached. So yeah, I just hope that happens, and I hope that the captaincy is a bit better. This was Lucknow's match to lose after they posted 158, and the way they bowled initially. This was their match to lose, and they lost it. It's not something that Gujarat has done.
I think it's more a function of, in terms of how the kind of and the nature of wickets which we are getting, at least from the initial 4 matches. That is something which I was able to see. It has got something for the new bowlers initially 3-4 overs, and then once the dew starts to settle in, the batsmen are able to capitalize and score those end over runs. So yeah, it's a bit of competition, and I think heading into the next matches, especially in Wankhede, if the teams are able to keep the wickets in hand after the power play, and even if they have not a lot of runs, they should be in a better position as compared to if they are losing 2 or 3 or 4 early wickets within the power play.
Yeah, I also agree with that. Just last point about Gujarat. I think having someone like Nehra in your dugout helps you relax a lot, and I think we saw Rahul Tewatia also speak about it. I'm hoping good things from Gujarat. They've got a good backroom staff with Gary Kirsten and Ashish Nehra and Vikram Solanki being the director of cricket there. It's just that I'm not too confident about their batting, and Hardik Pandya's captaincy. We didn't speak a lot about Pandya's captaincy as well. I thought he was lucky today. Let's see how that goes. What would you suggest for Gujarat to change?
I think it's still early days for captaincy point of view for Hardik Pandya especially. But yes, I would probably reshuffle the batting order and bring Abhinav Manohar earlier, because I still think Hardik Pandya at 5, Miller at 6, and Tewatia at 7. This would give me a very solid middle in the late overs batting, which Gujarat would be better off, I would say.
Yeah, and then bringing in Rashid at number 8, who can also hit the ball that as well. So yeah, that's it from our side. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please like, share, subscribe, and tell us how we can improve our content. Do go and watch our Formula One reviews as well. And yeah, thank you, and we'll come back with another set of episodes.
Thank you.